Greetings all, and welcome to Dave's Craft Room. I'm Dave, and in today's video I have something very epic planned because this box is from my mom, and she sent me a huge pile of Orphan blocks, and she's asked me to make a quilt out of her Orphan blocks. Here's the batting. Let me get the batting out of the way. So these are the Orphan blocks. She also sent me some panels to make a Franken background. We have a Sunbonnet Sue. I wonder how old. Oh, she probably bought the Sunbonnet Sue because it has $1 on it. She probably found this at a flea market. Sunbonnet Sues are cute. So these are gonna be. This is one of those like fake Dresdens. These panels are gonna be for the Franken backing. She probably didn't know what to do with all these panels that she had. So they're gonna go into backing. A pieced backing. I'm glad they're getting used for something. Okay, here's the blocks. I don't know like what all these blocks originally were. I think she might have made, like maybe these are practice. This is pretty. Some of these I recognize from quilt projects that she sent me. Like I think this one she made a quilt like this for my cousin. She didn't give me any instructions or any rules as to what I can and can't do, so I'm just gonna do whatever I want. Ooh, glitter fabric. You know what they say about glitter. Glitter is the herpes of the arts and crafts world. These are big. Ooh, they're cool. Look at all these. I bet you these were made of 9 patches. Okay, so I gotta get all of this crap up on the design wall and do a layout and see what I like. And so that's our next step. We're gonna put it all on the design wall. This strategy is to sew like blocks together into neighborhoods because those neighborhoods are going to be easier for me to work with. Once I have neighborhoods, I fit them together with the true orphans and all the small blocks. I also use this half yard of a batik to fill in the rest of the gaps, and I just keep sewing stuff together until I have a quilt top.
Now it's time for the Franken backing made out of the cheater panels. And all I do is sew them up randomly, and I measure it periodically to make sure it's going to be big enough to be the backing. I'm using the John Flynn quilt frame to do hand quilting, and I'm doing an all over pattern that's very random, sometimes in the ditch, sometimes zigzags. I just do whatever I feel like for the chunk that's in front of me, and I carry on until it's finished. So this is the final result. I was very pleased with it, and I sent it back to my mom, who also liked it. And my mom agreed to give an interview about all the blocks and everything. However, she did not wish to appear on camera, so she's just behind the camera. But here's the interview with my mom. Greetings all, and welcome to Dave's Craft Mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Dave.
My mom does not want to appear on camera, but she's showing the quilt. So, like, what's the tea with all these blocks? Like, where did they come from and all that?
Okay. So some of these blocks, most of the blocks are from quilts that I made. They're leftovers, or they were just blocks that I wanted to try out. A couple of them I bought, and a few of them I rescued from a thrift shop bag. So these two right here, this kind of star and Sunbonnet Sue, I bought those at the Cumberland Valley Relief Center. They make quilts to sell for World Relief. So I bought those there. I really think that star is very cool.
When you got that Sunbonnet Sue, when you sent it to me, it had $1 on it.
Yeah, I bought it.
Oh.
My grandmother made me a Sunbonnet Sue when I was little, me and my sister. So I don't know. It just always, growing up in South Dakota, it makes me think of that.
That Sunbonnet Sue seems old. How old do you think it is?
I think that's at least 50 years old, probably more. Probably 60, 70, 80 years old. It's an old piece of muslin, and it's got stains on the muslin.
And when were those Sunbonnet Sues originally popular?
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that, but it always makes me think of prairie times, so could be the 1800s. I don't really know.
Back in the Okie Smoky days.
Yeah, way back in the day. I got my quilt
in the ancient times,
right around 1970. So then there's a bunch of these here and there. Those were headed to the thrift shop from a friend of mine, so I just thought, I'll take those.
What are those down in the corner?
So these were going to be a table runner, and then I thought, no, I'll make 9 of them, and I'll make a table mat. And then I just never got around to finishing it. And they're cave prints, which I really like a lot.
Okay, what else?
So then this was a really cute block that I just liked, and so I decided to make a sample of it for some time when I get around to making a quilt out of it. This is a Dutchman's puzzle, which I really like a lot. These two came out of Anne's quilt. These, I don't know why there's so many of them. I was making Mom a quilt with that stuff, and I don't know, either they were left or something. I don't really know why there were so many of those. And then these up here in the top left-hand corner, that was a really cool queen size quilt, and those were left over. They were the ones that didn't really quite work out. You know, you can't quite see the dark and light. You know, they kind of blend in with each other instead of popping.
What are those 9 patches up there at the top?
The 9 patches are scraps left over from masks. And that's the quilt that I made for Allie.
Yeah, because when the pandemic hit, everybody's craft room turned into a mask factory.
Yeah.
How many masks? How many masks did you make?
Almost 2,000.
Holy crap!
Something like 17 or 1,800, something like that.
I made like a couple hundred.
And then those on the upper right-hand corner, those are from another quilt I made that I haven't finished. It's just a flimsy. And this is a square and a square. You take 2 10-inch squares, and with the 2, you make those 2 blocks. That was fun. I just wanted to see it. And this is, when you put a bunch of these together, you get a spider web. These corners come together and make a spider web. So that's really cool.
What about those purple glitter fabric?
The purple glitter ones, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember that at all. I don't remember where those came from.
The pastel,
yeah,
it's
those,
just
I have a flimsy of that, and it's not, that's where those blocks came from, those little squares, HSTs. I don't remember what the quilt itself looks like, but it's just a flimsy.
How many flimsies do you have?
I have a lot. I enjoy making the quilt tops more than anything else.
Is that all the blocks on the front?
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Let's look at the back.
These panels are straight out of the 80s.
So, like, what's the tea with all the panels and stuff?
Panels galore. I was at the fabric fair here one year, and there was a kitchen trash bag, and it had $1 marked on it, and it was chock full of mostly pillow panels. Not like wall hanging, but you know, you're supposed to put this together and make a pillow. And so I'm like, well, geez, for $1, I'm buying that.
Are those cheater cloths?
It's like cheater cloth, kind of, but I mean, they just make pillows, you know, instead of a wall hanging. So I have been using these panels for the backs of my quilts for like the last 3 or 4 years. And I'm telling you, they're multiplying in the basket because they are not going away.
You've been making Frankenbackings like that? Like this one?
Yes. Now, mostly for wall hangings. So this is a lot of them for this size quilt. Normally, I would just make a wall hanging that would make like about that size. But what I like about this is you even put the instructions for making the pillow on.
It was on the
Normally,
fabric.
you know, I know it's fabric. Why wouldn't you use it? But I just love it. It's hilarious. But you can see these things are straight out of the 80s. I mean, ducks. And that little girl up there with the geese, I can't tell you how many times I've seen that.
It's reminiscent of a Sunbonnet Sue.
It is a little bit, yeah. And see, there's the instructions. I just love it.
I didn't read them.
It's hilarious. But I mean, they're just so great. And what a fun backing.
What is the name of this quilt?
This is called the bonus block quilt.
I forgot about this.
I don't really like Orphan block. I don't really like that too much. And
What?
I said it to Kelly. I said, I'm not clever enough to think of something better, but I don't really like Orphan block. And she said, my stepdaughter calls me her bonus mom. So why don't you call it a bonus square? And I said, we'll call it a bonus block for the alliteration and because we call them blocks, not squares. So it's called the bonus block quilt.
I forgot that you had this weird thing against the word orphan.
Well, I don't have anything against the word orphan. The word is not disparaging. It indicates that someone is something or someone is not wanted, and that's not what an orphan is.
I don't think it indicates that at all.
Well, anyway, I'm calling it a bonus block quilt, whatever you want to say. That's what I like.
Well, you know, whenever I was editing the video footage, the file folder was labeled Mom Orphans, which is completely an oxymoron.
Mom orphans.
Anything else about the bonus block quilt?
I don't think so. I love it. Okay, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe. Dave's Craft Room.
Okay, that's all. Thank you, Dave's Craft Mom.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for not making me go on the camera. All right. I'm done.
Yes, you can say it now.
I can say it now. I already said it.
No, I wasn't recording. I'm recording now. Okay, I'm going to have to ask you to do it again because the audio was a little glitchy.
Is that what you want me to say, what I said?
Yes, that was fine. Just do it again. Okay, I'm going to edit that in. She's holding the phone a little bit wibbly wobbly. Can you hold it on something steady? What if you put a chair in front of you and rest your arms on the chair?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay, so start over. Like, what's the tea with the blocks and all that?
Should I start over?
If you want, you don't have to.
All right, the back is pretty fun.
I don't know why I sound so demanding. Show me the back.
Show me the back. Yeah, the back is a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have
Up
to,
here,
you have to say
these
that again.
9.
Can we do a take 2 on that?